constantly, deteriorated my bones, and that was a result of eating Fritos and Bluebell. Now, no addiction is good. I don't care if it's a good addiction, what would it be? Food, good food, organic food, that would be a good addiction. But there are really no good addictions. And why is that? And by the way, before I go too much further, I suggest that you look into The Mood Cure by Julia Ross, Natural Highs. I think the book is over here on the shelf somewhere. And by the way, I'm also going to put all these notes on the Organic Living Club website, so you don't necessarily need to take any notes tonight.
Is that Natural Highs part of that title, the Mood Cure?
Natural High, no. Mood Cure is one book. Natural High is another one. Learned Optimism, Healing Yourself with Self-Hypnosis. Healthy Healing by Linda Page, her book is down there. And Prescriptions for a Natural Cure right there. So I've used all these books and many others as my resource material for the lecture tonight. There are 6 essentials of life. Yes, sir?
Just out of curiosity, the Fritos and the Bluebell ice cream, what about those called the deterioration of bones? Is it something that that's in there that's causing that?
Salt
all the way. Okay.
Yeah, you can't eat a bunch of salt constantly without deteriorating your bones. Phosphorus. A lot of phosphorus in those Fritos, I think. Anyway, wasn't good for me. 6 essentials of life are eat, drink, exercise, breathe, think, and rest. Absolutely essential. Most of us kind of ease off on the exercise, perhaps. To beat addictions, we must put all of these in balance. And I'm going to have to read this because I'm not as well prepared as I should be. The following suggestions are for breaking any addiction, including smoking, drugs, food, work. I also have a work addiction. And other things. From substance abuse to minor cravings. And the best time to start breaking addictions is, of course, yesterday. The next best time is today. Supplemental programs work for even drug-addicted children, babies. And yes, we have babies that are born drug-addicted. And when we get into supplements, there are some supplements that, if given to children at birth, will overcome their addiction, their mother's addiction that they have earned. Ask most people and they will tell you breaking addiction is mostly what? Mental. I mean, everybody says, oh, it's mental. Just snap out of it. It's not. It's not mental. It is not physical. It is not psychological. It is not spiritual. It is nutritional. It is nutritional. Yes. Mm-hmm. Soft addictions and hard addictions are symptoms of the basic problem, poor nutrition. We sometimes shift our addiction once we learn to solve the addiction at hand. In other words, we substitute tobacco for jelly beans. We had a president that did that. His name was Ronald Reagan. Substituted jelly beans for tobacco. Well, most people don't care if you eat jelly beans, but is it good for you? No, not if you eat them all the time. And it's still an addiction. To solve addiction problems, we must first solve the underlying cause. What is the imbalance in our life and our bodies? If we first identify the cause, we can resolve the imbalance in our lives, and we can blame social pressures, psychological problems, genetic tendencies, or other things that are coupled with excuses, but it's not always the way to do it. Most addictions are a result of nutritional deficiencies, food allergies, and or blood sugar imbalances, such as in the case of alcoholism. To check for imbalances, I suggest you do several things. One would be a hair analysis, a urine analysis, a saliva analysis, or a blood analysis. Which one should you do? I would suggest you contact a qualified health care provider to figure that out. Pulse testing or elimination diet can be used to check for food allergies. Does everyone know how to do that? Pulse testing? You eat a food and you check to see if your pulse increases or decreases. Yes, it's that quick sometimes.
Then what?
And if it decreases or increases, you avoid that food for several weeks, and then you try again and you see if you get a increase or decrease in your pulse. And if it increases or decreases, you know you've got a susceptibility possibly to the food. It could be to something in the food. Yes, ma'am.
Happen right away, or do you have to wait a little while?
In a minute or less. Yes. Yes, sir.
One of the cooking shows the other day, he was talking about using cotton oil instead of canola or olive oil. Cotton oil.
Yeah. For some people. Overcoming any compulsion or addiction is a process of self-discovery. One can transform oneself without reforming oneself. Transform oneself without reforming oneself. I don't have to reform myself to become non-addicted. I just need to transform myself. How do I do that? We've got a lot of choices that we make. And I would suggest the one important thing you do is keep a daily diary. Write down everything you need, everything that's happening to you, everything that you feel strongly about or not strongly about, and every food that you put in your mouth. If you have an allergy to something, you'll figure out that allergy simply by keeping a daily diet. Say, at one point I realized that I had a food allergy and I didn't know what it was. And so when I was in college, I started eliminating things. And when I eliminated Coca-Cola from my diet, it went away. I'd drink a Coke, it'd come right back. Well, I kind of wondered if it was just Coca-Cola or something within the Coke. I found out it was caramel. I have an allergy to caramel. I break out with what appears to be pimples. But they're not pimples, they just appear to be pimples. Horrible. And it doesn't take a whole lot of caramel to do it. And occasionally I eat it. I don't have the allergy as bad as I did when I was in college. But it's a simple, eliminate it for 3 weeks, try it again. If you have a food allergy, it'll show up very quickly. Unless we can change the biological core of the addiction, it becomes a step up for relapse, shame, and despair. So, again, I suggest you look at a daily diary. What is addiction? Addiction is non-growth, staying locked in the past. Addiction is attachment, which can mean an attachment of suffering for yourself and the people that love you or care about you. Addiction is not just about you. Addiction is postponement and repetition is repeating something over and over and over again, right? And that's addiction. By postponing change, you make the attachment stronger, and by the time that, and sometimes you hate yourself for allowing the problem to continue. It's time to grow, it's time to change your eating habits and satisfy your nutritional needs. Most smokers will tell you it's horrible. Can't quit. Can't quit. Well, there's a number of things that smokers can do, and I've had a brother-in-law that tried all of them. And I'm going to tell you about a number of things that he tried and failed, and failed, and failed because it was a nutritional deficiency. He never addressed the nutritional deficiency. Change in balance between burnout and boredom. And that's what we seem to have. Our life swings between burnout and boredom. We do a lot of things, we get burnt out, we're bored. We do a lot of things, we're burnt out, we're bored. People that get on drugs that want highs or lows, bring them down off their highs, bring them up from their lows. They're taking one kind of drug and then another kind of drug. What do doctors do? You're depressed, so they give you a stimulant. You get hooked on the stimulant, then they got to give you a